Thank you for joining me once again. I'm Big Shy, and this is my update regarding the nuclear test that was completed by Russia today, the 26th of October 2025. There are a couple of things I really wanted to point out. Now, this video is not scripted, okay? I'm just sat here talking to you one-to-one, just to clear out a few things that I feel sounds and looks a bit awkward or odd or weird, if we have to put it that way. That missile test was completed today by Russia, and they called it the BUREVESNIK missile. It traveled about 14,000 kilometers before it was deactivated. Russian president claimed that missile can go 3 times that distance it traveled during the test. Now, have you heard any words from the European leaders, or from the world leaders, or from those countries that call themselves, that labeled themselves Russian unfriendly countries? Have you heard any word from them? Absolutely not. It seems and it looks like Russian statement was heard loud and clear by every single one of them. Donald Trump has not said anything. Obviously, we shouldn't expect anything from the European leaders because their God, Donald Trump, had not made any comment or any statement. Then who are they? They got nothing to say. Now, the funny thing about this is we didn't even hear anything from the Trump's administration. I know at the moment Donald Trump is traveling around Asia trying to gather, support from China and a few other countries to speak to Vladimir Putin to end the war in Ukraine. But still yet, we have not heard anything from the Trump's administration. There's a question mark there. I'll come back to that in a moment. And the fact that this test took place just at the backyard of the United States, Alaska. It sounds really interesting. Apparently, the characteristics or the main characteristics of this new nuclear missile that was tested today is the fact that it can stay in the sky for up to 15 hours, just loitering around, moving around until data or target information are sent to it, and then off it goes to its target. That makes it one of the most deadliest weapons in our time, of our time, according to experts, not me. I'm not a weapon expert, but I'm going by what the weapon experts are saying. That missile cannot be intercepted. It had been deemed invisible. You can't see it coming. Judging by the speed it moves at. Again, I'm not the one saying it. The records are there. Go check the statistics or the characteristics of the weapon. The fact that Donald Trump has not said anything is really giving me some sort of suspicion or suspicious mind. Did Donald Trump actually know beforehand that Vladimir Putin was going to launch that test? Maybe, because, maybe not, because this is a massive statement that was made by Russia today. But what do you guys think? We haven't heard nothing from the European leaders, from the world leaders. Not that we actually expect to hear anything from them, but because the message that was sent to them today, when they call it a silence message, but it was received loud and clear. That is what they got today. Tomahawk missiles to be sent to Ukraine or not to be sent to Ukraine? Well, let's wait and see what goes on. I don't think Ukraine will ever sense or send or even see a Tomahawk missile with their eyes. And I think most of the European countries, the European leaders are now beginning to adjust. I saw a news today that the so-called coalition of the willing is beginning to shake. Everybody is beginning to adjust. Everybody is beginning to mind their own businesses, which is something they should have done a long time. We need to get our heads together and look for a viable, reasonable solution to end the war in Ukraine. The violence is enough. Enough is enough of the violence. Enough is enough of the destructions of life and properties. If statements like this that was made by Russia today is the only thing that will get the mind of the European leaders and the world leaders to their senses, then maybe we need more statements like that to be put out there so that they can get back to their senses, right? Now, the coalition of the willing, they could not touch Russian frozen asset. The plan was to give Ukraine 122 million pounds of that Russian frozen asset. Well, the interest, that's what they called it. But Belgium authority refused because they were going to use the money that was held by Belgium to give to Ukraine. But the Belgium authority said, no, who is going to pay Russia back when it is time to pay them the money? Belgium? We don't think so. The Belgium government said, no, we are not going to give Ukraine any penny from Russia money we are holding. You give them from your country, and then when it's time, you look for how to pay Russia the money. So they've agreed not to touch the money, but they said they will continue to gather money to help Ukraine beef their defenses up, to help Ukraine survive. What? The price for peace is free. This is what I still don't understand. The price to end this war is free. But these overfed men decided to choose otherwise, to spend billions upon billions upon billions, wasting money laundering, embezzlement, and all that. That is what is going on. Signing away the life of Ukrainian natural resources, all in the name of fighting or trying to destabilize or try to weaken Russia. All right, let me round this up very quickly. If you're watching this, have you ever actually sat down to think, why are all these countries, 45 or 46 country plus, why are they all against one country? Have you, no, seriously, let's forget about what is happening on the background. Let's forget about Ukraine. Let's forget about everything else. On the real, have you actually sat down to think, why are all these countries fighting or ganging up against one country? Have you ever thought about that? And have you ever taken your time to also think, how is this one country still surviving, still standing after 4 years of fighting nearly 50 countries, some of which are nuclear-powered countries, some of which has the most developed militaries in the world? This one country against these 50 country plus is still standing. And this one country called Russia is still making impact all around the world. At one point, they said Russia was building weapons using microwave part and washing machine part. Well, it looked like microwave and washing machine would have run out of Russia today after they built this BUREVESNIK nuclear missile. What do you think? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Microwave and washing machine part.